Florida is a great and popular place for tourists and vacations. Matter of fact, Orlando was the #1 visited city in the world last year. Florida has rich history, beginning with the occupation of the Spanish explorers and ending with cultural diversity brought by many immigrants. There are many attractions and museums in Florida, and Florida has great beaches, incredible nature, and amazing wildlife. Everyone can find something they will enjoy on a Florida vacation. There's so much to do in Florida. I can visit historic sites. I can lounge on the beach and get a great tan. Have a great time enjoying theme parks, explore the nightlife of South Beach, explore the nightlife that the South Beach is famous around the world for. Visit casinos both on land and at sea. Try my luck at fishing. Shop till I drop. Visit wildlife habitats. There are so many attractions in Florida. Disney World, Universal Studios, SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, Legoland, Gatorland, Wet n Wild, Hard Rock Casino, Dixie Stampede, Medieval Times, Cirque du Soleil, Kennedy Space Center. But I'm going on a short vacation, and I want my vacation to be fun but balanced, and to be able to do a little bit of everything. So I'm going to visit St. Augustine's historic sites, relive my childhood at Disney World, learn about Earth's aquatic animals at the SeaWorld, become part of my favorite movies at Universal Studios, explore rich wildlife of the Everglades, and finally I will lounge on the beach enjoying pina colada at the southernmost point of the United States, the Florida Keys. My first stop will be St. Augustine.
St. Augustine is located in northern eastern region of Florida, United States. The region is also known as First Coast, and it is the headquarters for Florida National Guard. It is the oldest continuously occupied European established city and oldest port of United States. The city was founded by Spanish admiral and explorer Pedro Menendez de Aviles. He sighted the land on August 28, 1565. It was the feast day of Augustine Hippo, and the territory was named as St. Augustine. Henry Fletcher, one of the partner in Standard Oil Company, came here in 1880 and developed this site as a winter resort. He started 3 hotels here and a hospital and churches here. He was the founder of Florida East Coast Railway, and the city has been ruled under the government of Spanish, British and Americans. So it gives it to different diversity of culture to the city. The city is popular tourist place, and the main attraction is Spanish colonial buildings and architecture. One can visit the city throughout the year in all seasons, and it is about 57 miles far from Jacksonville and 380 miles from Miami. Jacksonville Airport and Daytona airports are nearer airport, and it is easy to find hotels, motels and restaurants here. St. Augustine has very beautiful historical museums and forts. It has very rich nature sightseeing places and parks in St. Augustine. The historical downtown is mainly on St. John Street. One can visit the downtown by walking or Old Town trolley tour, by horse carriage, by segway tour, depending on the person's choice. On the water, one can take eco tours, kayak eco tours, high-speed boat tours and cruises. In the night time, some companies offer ghost tour for hunting and walking through the old mansions. Helicopter ride is one of the popular as Gonzales Alvarez house, which is last owner of the house. It was built in 16th century, and from 1893 visitors are visiting this house for learning the resident life of Spanish, British and Americans. In 1970, the house was declared as nation's historical landmark. In the complex of the house, Manusi Museum is located and which is covering 400 years of history of the city. Museum of Florida's Military and Page Edwards Gallery is there. Edwards Gallery presenting changing habitats, changing exhibits of city. Old House Garden is a popular wedding site, and Old House Museum Store is selling antique things of St. Augustine and books related to the history. Near to that house, there is an old drugstore. The drugstore still has old register, floor, old medicines, tonic bottles and remedies. Near that, there is an old jail museum which is built in 1892, and the jail is showing different cells for white prisoners, black prisoners and women. There is a quarter of jailer having old kitchen, old telephones, typewriter, etc. The jail is famous for paranormal activity in the night time. One of the famous museums called Potter's Wax Museum is there. It is the first wax museum of United States, and it is established by George L. Potter in 1948. It has about 160 wax sculptures of famous personalities like John F. Kennedy, F.D. Roosevelt, Michael Jackson, Britney Spears, etc. Potter's Museum offers paranormal tour on weekends. And don't forget to visit the forts of St. Augustine. Castillo de San Marcos is the famous fort. It is the oldest structure of entire town. The fort is constructed by Spanish people between 1672 to 1695. The wall is made up of local shell rock called conquina. It is reputed oldest masonry fort in United States, and you can see some explorer and gun deck still today. Fort is also known as Fort Marino, and it is national monument from 1924. The other places you may like to visit are Fort Morse, Spanish Military Hospital, Lighthouse Museum, Old Wooden Schoolhouse, Grace Methodist Church, Leisure's Memorial Church, etc. St. Augustine is also famous for its unspoiled natural beauty, which is include wild reserve, marine land and beaches, and park on Anastasia Island. St. Augustine Wild Reserve gives you chance to experience the wildlife. It is about 7 acres of land covering and need advanced reservation to take a tour. You can see exotic animals here like African lion, orange leopard, black leopard and many birds. Marine land gives you chance to play, to swim, to feed, to touch the marine land dolphins. There are big turtles and sharks here. The beautiful lion bridge joins the Anastasia Island to the land. It includes beach, lighthouse, museum and alligator farm. Alligator farm is one of the oldest attractions of Florida. You can see thousands of alligator here, from big to small, strange varieties and different species. Many are from different countries too. You can also see some birds, pythons, monkeys and cobra here. One can enjoy the beaches by picnicking, swimming, fishing, kayaking, windsurfing and kiteboarding. Paddle boat rentals are available on island. Everyone can enjoy the sea by cruises. In every winter, rare northern gulls come to the island and give birth to the whales. One can enjoy summer boat competition and different events, exhibitions and festivals throughout the year. So St. Augustine gives us chance to experience the past with present.
My trip to St. Augustine was great. I enjoyed architecture and learned a lot. And now I'm going to go on to Disney World.
Welcome to Disney.
company, Disney World, was introduced or created in 1971. It features 6 amazing parks, as shown here. We have Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and the 2 water parks, Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach, which are down there. And it also attracts more than 47 million people per year. Magic Kingdom, which was the first park that was built, features the all-famous Cinderella Castle, which is in the middle of the park. This is also the attraction that begins those 6 pathways to 6 different lands in the park, which include Frontierland, Tomorrowland, New Fantasyland, Main Street, Liberty Square, and Adventureland. When visiting this park, you almost feel like you're going from fantasy to reality. You're introduced to pirates, you're introduced to princesses, to monsters, you watch amazing parades, and you get to end your night with a beautiful fireworks show that is featured behind the famous Cinderella Castle. Some of the famous attractions that people go to are the Space Mountain, the Thunder Mountain, and the Splash Mountain. The next park that was open was Epcot in 1982. When you first walk in, you're introduced to a space-like future world, and you get to see the all-famous ball, which is called Spaceship Earth, and it symbolizes the park itself. You can go to, and after you're done with Spaceship Future World, you can go to the back of the park, which you get to experience 11 different pavilions that represent 11 different countries. While you're at these pavilions, you can learn about the cultures and the cuisine, and you can talk to people, meet different people from the culture. Some of the famous attractions in Epcot are the hang glider, the test track, Mission Space, and Star Tours. The next park that we're introduced to was opened in 1989, which is Hollywood Studios. Basically, you're in a big movie set. This allows you to feel like you're the star. You get to feel what it's like to be behind the scenes of different movies and different concerts and things. There's different sets that are also built based in the 30s and 40s too. Some of the famous attractions here are Tower of Terror, which is right there, Rock and Roller Coaster, and yeah, that's it. Animal Kingdom, which opens in 1998, which is fairly recent. This park was introduced or built to show Disney's care for the conservation of animals. It features over 1,700 animals with over 250 different species, and they're spread out between 500 acres of land. This is actually the biggest animal theme park in the world. This park allows you to have fun while you are learning at the same time. The most famous attractions in this park are Expedition Everest and the Safari. So I hope you had a fun time here at Disney World, where dreams really do come true.
I really had magical time in Disney World. I loved to see the Cinderella Castle and fireworks show. Was amazing. My next stop is going to be the SeaWorld.
Hi, welcome to SeaWorld. SeaWorld is an aquatic-based theme park, which was built on December 15th, 1973. One of the main attractions at SeaWorld is the Shamu tank, where you get to watch Shamu, the killer whale, swim with its trainers. They also swim with dolphins, and hopefully you'll get splashed by Shamu's tail. And I have a short video to show.
Possible.
that doesn't get you excited, SeaWorld has 4 roller coasters it offers. They have the Kraken, which is based on a mythical creature. It's a floorless roller coaster where your legs hang out, which can be pretty exciting. They also have Shamu's Express, which is oriented more for children. And they also have the Manta, which is based on manta rays and how they swim in the ocean. And they also have the Journey to Atlantis, which is a water-based roller coaster. Now there's also a lot of exhibits to see. They also have where you can see fish and sharks and other animals. They have the Arctic area where you can see polar bears, beluga whales, and other Arctic animals. And there's also areas where you can do gift shopping, you know, if you want to pick up trinkets or anything like that, t-shirts. And they also have restaurants if you want to eat. So if you ever feel the need to go to SeaWorld and want to have a good time, definitely check it out.
I love being splashed by the cold water in the Florida heat. I had a great time on and experienced all those rides, and now I'm going to go on to Universal Studios.
Universal Studios was built on June 7, 1990. The park is based on the movie and television industry. Its theme is Ride the Movies. Some of the rides I have at Universal Studios are The Mummy, Twister, Despicable Me, Rip Ride Rocket Coaster, and others. They also have The Simpsons, the Shrek, which are 3D based simulations, which can be a lot of fun. They also have Islands of Adventure, where they have the Hulk and the Harry Potter roller coasters. They also have City Walk, which is a really good spot if you ever want to go on a date or you're hanging out with some friends. Where they have bars, restaurants, the Hard Rock Cafe, NBA City, Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville, and others. The Hard Rock also offers a lot of live shows. Pretty much every week they have shows where you can watch live bands play. They also have little live bands playing everywhere. There's clubs, so we got a pretty good nightlife, so definitely if you decide to go, you might want to get a hotel room or something in case you have something to drink. They also have the Blue Man Group, which is a lot of fun. If you haven't checked that out, I definitely would recommend going to that. So definitely enjoy Universal Studios.
Universal Studios was a lot of fun. I really felt like I was part of the movie. My favorite was the Twister, and Blue Man Group really blew my mind. So now I'm going to go to Everglades and experience Farmland.
The Everglades is one of the largest wetlands in the world. Several hundred years ago, these wetlands were a major part of a 5 million acre watershed that covered almost a third of the entire state of Florida. The Everglades consist of a shallow sheet of fresh water that rolls slowly over the lowlands through billions of blades of sawgrass. As the water moves through the Everglades, it causes the sawgrass to ripple like green waves. This is why the Everglades received the nickname River of Grass. The Everglades have changed dramatically throughout history. Originally, the Everglades extended over 3 million acres from Lake Okeechobee to Florida Bay. This territory is often referred to as the Historic Everglades. Settlers who arrived in southern Florida in the early 1900s drained much of these wetlands to build houses and plant crops. They also channeled the water to provide a constant supply for themselves and to protect themselves from frequent deadly floods. Slowly, the Everglades shrank. Eventually, people began to recognize the various functions of the wetlands ecosystems, including their importance as a habitat for many unique species, microorganisms, plants, and animals. The government divided the land. The original 3 million acre historic Everglades, of the original 3 million acre historic Everglades, the northern 1 million acres were designated to the Everglades agricultural area. Today, most of this land is used to raise sugarcane. The southern 1,500,000 acres of the original Everglades is now the Everglades National Park, which was set up in 1947. The term mangrove is used to identify several species of salt-tolerant trees that thrive amidst the harsh growing conditions of the coast. Mangrove habitat serves as a valuable nursery for a variety of recreational and commercially important marine species. During the dry months, birds congregate here to feed and nest, and during the summer months, these mangrove forests provide the first line of defense against the howling winds and storm surge of hurricanes. Today, some 350 bird species have been identified at Everglades National Park. Some are year-round residents, others just visit for the winter, and others stop by on their journey to more southern destinations. Many animals live in the Everglades, including the raccoon, bobcat, and white-tailed deer. But the poster child of the Everglades and the symbol of this wild, vast ecosystem is the Florida panther. It is the most endangered species in the Everglades, with about 100 left in the wild. And they're in an effort to save the panther. They track them with it's like a electrical device on their collar, and it's pretty much a radio tracking collar. And the drainage of wetlands, alteration of overland water, and hunting have all contributed to many endangered species in the Everglades. And among them are the American crocodile, the green turtle, the Florida panther, and the West Indian manatee. Fires help shape the unique ecosystems of the Everglades. Natural fires are due to lightning and occur every 25 to 30 years. When a fire burns an area, it releases nutrients back into the soil, which helps new vegetation to grow and can be seen within a couple of days. Fires enable annual plants, low-growing species, and pine seedlings to take root in an otherwise overly competitive environment. The comprehensive Everglades Restoration Plan provides a framework and guide to restore, protect, and preserve the water resources of central and southern Florida, including the Everglades. It covers 16 counties over an 18,000 square mile area. The plan was approved in the Water Resources Development Act of the year 2000 and includes more than 60 elements, which will take more than 30 years to construct. And on the current estimate is $9.5 billion for the project. That's it.
I learned a lot about Everglades on this trip, and I enjoyed seeing different wildlife, animals, and endangered species. I got to see an alligator, and now I'm gonna travel to Florida Keys.
Welcome to the Florida Keys in Key West, where you can come as you are. There are 5 different areas that make up Key West. First one you would stop at is Key Largo, then head off to Island Mirage. Then you would go to Marathon, Big Pine Key. Last but not least, you would reach Key West. There are an abundance of attractions here in Key West, and some include boating, diving and snorkeling, dolphin encounters, eco-tours, fishing, parks, beaches, and places of interest, sightseeing, and water sports. And all of these attractions you can do in every single part of the areas I just mentioned above. Even though we have an abundance of attractions here in the Keys, our most popular tourist attraction is fishing. According to the International Game Fish Association, most saltwater records have been established in the Florida Keys than any other angling destination in the world. Some types of fishing that we have here are flats backcountry fishing, which include the shallow sands and the grass flats, also mangroves, and in these waters you would catch bonefish, tarpon, jacks, Spanish mackerels, and also barracudas can be found in here. Second, we have the light tackle fishing, and this is when you go out on the boat. You just have a fishing rod, your tackle, your bait. You can either just go out for a joyride on this, or you could go and actually catch your dinner for that night. Third, we have the deep sea fishing, and this is when you go out into the ocean a couple miles out, and this you need a kind of a more sturdier boat for, or you can either charter a boat, and this is where you catch your fun fish that everyone always dreams about catching, and that's your mahi-mahi, your billfish, your tuna, your wahoo, and your marlin. Then we have wreck fishing. Since there was a lot of ships in the Keys, they do sink, and fish like to hang out in there. And so if you can find one, you could just pull your boat over it, throw your fishing rod out, and attempt to catch something. Then you have your reef fishing, and that you have the snapper that hang out around there, and burley grouper. Your harbor fishing, and last but not least, your bridge fishing. In bridge fishing, you don't need a boat for it. All you do is find a bridge, find a little platform to go off of, bring your fishing rod again, your tackle, your bait, throw it out, and hope you catch something. Our second most popular tourist attraction is snorkeling and diving. The 120 miles Florida Keys Island chain is home to the only living coral reef in the United States. Our coral formations are famous for their abundance of fish, from impressive schools of blue-striped grunts to toothy green moray eels. There's also no more versatile destination in the world. Our coral-encrusted shipwrecks to intricate natural coral formations. We have shallow reefs for snorkelers and arranged for deeper reefs for more experienced divers. So we have something for everyone. Whether you like snorkeling, diving, fishing, laying out and getting a tan, we have something for everyone. Okay, our must-see attractions that I personally think that you should do: if you are down in Island Mirage, you should stop at Robbie's. It is a bait and tackle store, and it started out where there was a little tarpon. Well, not little, they're pretty big actually. There was a tarpon and it was hurt, and so they started feeding it because it couldn't go out and get its own food. Its name was Scarface. Well, however, as the fish got better and better, it was obviously coming back for more food, because why would you go out and hunt your own food if you can just have someone feed it to you? And so now there's 50 to 100 tarpon that hang out there daily, and they rise up out of the water and they splash and they try to take the bait, and it's really scary if they don't actually, I said earlier, if they bite your hand, it doesn't actually hurt. And so here's a video for you to actually see it.
First time you have close your eye.
So here, fishy, 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 fishy. Hit me in the head with it.
As you see, it doesn't look like they're coming that far out of the water on the video, but when you're actually there, it almost looks like your hand is about to come off by these fish, and it's really scary. Another must-see attraction is if you're in Key West, Mile 0, which is where the mile markers start. It's awesome just to go down there and take a picture and say, hey, look where I was. Like, I was where the original mile started. The 7-mile bridge, it's right here. It's really awesome because here's the original one right here. And when you're driving, you could actually see how narrow the bridge is. And there's nowhere to go. So if you're in a car accident, they actually had to shut it down because so many people were dying from this narrow bridge because they had nowhere to go. It was just lane and lane. And so they actually built a new one, and it's a lot safer. It's really cool because you just like feel like you're gliding across water. It's really awesome. And the southernmost point is definitely a big tourist attraction down there in the Keys. It looks like a buoy, and that is the southernmost point in the United States, and you're only 90 miles to Cuba from there. Last, a very big tourist attraction in Key West would be Fort Jefferson, and here you can go snorkeling around the whole entire thing if you want to. It's really cool because the fish actually come up to you, so you could, you're actually swimming with them. Or you could just take a tour of the fort in general.
I had the best vacation ever. Lifetime of memories. I love Florida. I got a ton of souvenirs for my family and friends. I learned rich history of St. Augustine. It has amazing architecture. I loved the forts, and Wax Museum was awesome. I also enjoyed seeing the Lighthouse Museum. Cinderella's castle was my favorite part in the Disney World, and of course the fireworks show. It is literally a magical experience. I felt like a kid again. I learned about different cultures at Epcot and sampled cuisine from different countries. SeaWorld Shimu exhibit was very impressive, and it was nice to be splashed by cool water in the midst of Florida heat. I never thought in a million years that I would get to see and touch a polar bear. It was great. When I went to Universal Studio, my favorite part was the Blue Man Group. It's the wackiest thing I've seen, and I had a ton of fun on the ride. In the Everglades, I got to see many of endangered animals, and it was a great airboat ride. When I went to Florida Keys, I got an awesome tan that all my friends back home were going to be jealous of. And I got to feed tarpon. It was very fun. And I finally caught a fish. So yay me. I had a great time. It was an awesome vacation. Thank you.